Hi, this is Tim. I wanted to give an update on our PLC quiz where we were doing a start-stop reverse system that would work in ladder logic, function block diagram, and structured text. I received a lot of different solutions on how this can be done, and that's what I always say. There's 100 ways to program anything. But one of them stood out to me and actually made a light bulb go off in my head about how I could have done mine better. Norm over at Flodyne Hydrogen shared a solution through video, and I'm just going to share a short excerpt of it. His solution overall was exactly the same as mine. In fact, I'll put a link to this video in the description. But his interlock solution for switching between the different routines worked much better. So I'm going to just hit play on his.
Now, if I change my mode, it goes away as well. And what that does is I have a global variable called GVL routine, and every time I'm in a new routine, I see if the number is the same as the last time, and if it's not, then I know I'm on this first pass. So here I am, not equal to 1. 1 stands for ladder, so my first pass becomes true when I change to ladder for one scan, and if it's on, it knocks out the green light and the yellow light, and then at the bottom I just move a 1 into my GVL routine for ladder. Do the same thing. Let's go to function block.
This was the program flow thing that I was looking for that I just couldn't come up with. Now, in the end, I don't think I'm going to do mine exactly like Norm's, but I do want to make some modifications to mine based off of his. Also, let me show you a few modifications I've already had to make to mine because we are setting back up on doing some robot videos. So I had to move some of my I/O around and change a few contact blocks. Previously, my left and right switch positions were inputs 7 and 8. Now they're 8 and 9, and that's just because of the way the wiring is, and I didn't want to have to flip this over and manage to get the wires moved. Also, though, my normally closed red button, on this setup, it's wired normally open, so I had to make a few additional changes there. In my ladder logic, right here, we were looking for a 1 or an examinative close. Now we're looking for a 0 and examinative off. It's going to do the exact same thing. I know somebody's going to argue, well, yeah, but if you have a cut wire, it won't stop. But that's for another video. We're talking about program flow. And same here in the function blocks. And yeah, my function blocks are definitely not pretty now. I could have tidied that up a little, but red button, I added a knot there just to get this back to where we were on square one. And on our function block, we had and input number 2. Now we have and not. So I changed it there and I changed it here. And that gets us back to where we hit the start button, stop button, start button, switch, and it goes off. So pretty much where we're in the last one. But I want to use what Norm did and make a few more modifications to mine. So let's start in the ladder, and we went through these 3 rungs last time, how they turned off our green and yellow light. Some of you didn't like that I used the unlatch with the output energize, and I'm going to be honest with you, this may be one of those instances that this is going to make it much cleaner the way I've done this. I don't want to hammer anybody on this, but we shouldn't knock what we don't understand. There's nothing that says you can't use an output energize and an output unlatch. And what's going to happen is I'm going to take this out because I'm going to show another way where we can do this not using these latches, and we're going to use a little bit of Norm's thinking, but it's actually going to clutter rungs 3 and 4. Right now, I don't think you can get any cleaner than we have these. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look that run function block and run structured text are also not on down here. So let's start. The first thing we got to do, and here's what I just mentally couldn't get through my head with mine, is these unlatches here need moved down to the bottom. And then along with that, we're going to latch this run ladder. So I'm going to bring that down. And I'm going to change that to an output latch. And then I'm just going to delete this rung. And we actually are going to delete these rungs now. So that takes care of all those 3. We're only going to have this single rung at the bottom now. And I am going to look that our run function block is not on, so run function block, and I'm going to look that our run structured text is not on. So then I'm going to copy that exact same thing down to our reverse logic. All right, and I'm just going to put that in here, and you're going to see that we've gone from having 3 rungs up here to our single rung at the bottom. But we've complicated this, and I don't know how I feel about this. I really think my unlatch was probably cleaner. But first, let's make sure it works in the exact same manner. So I'm going to switch. Well, actually, we're in function blocks. Well, I hit the green button. That gets us going. Now I'm going to switch to ladder, and it goes off. Does the exact same thing. So let's make sure we understand that. Is all right, right now we are running ladder, and we see that. Now I'm going to switch to function block, and we see now we're running function block. So the first time we call this ladder routine, when we switch 4, it's going to look through here, and it's going to see, I am running function block. And that's going to make this output energize go right a 0. The same way as my unlatch was doing. Same thing with this, it's going to write a 0 to our yellow light output. And it's going to come down here, and it's going to write a 1 to our run ladder, and 0s to our function block and structured text, which is going to make these true from then on out. So that's going to do the same thing. So, I don't know. With this way, I do have one simple clean rung, and I guess that is kind of what I was going for. But also, I was trying to keep these 2 rungs clean, and I think there's where the stumbling block was for me, is I can't make these rungs clean and keep this part clean. But all right, there's another way we could do it, and that does get rid of the output unlatches for those of you who didn't like it. And as I always say, there's 100 different ways to do almost the most basic task out there. So I hope this has been helpful. Continue to submit your ideas of how we could have done this. Till next time. Hi, this is Tim.
And this is Amber with TW Controls. Hey, thanks for finding our channel.
Here's a playlist with some similar videos.
And YouTube thinks you'll like these.
When you're ready for some intense training, check out our PLC lab.
And if our videos have helped you out, but you're not using our products, please consider supporting us on Patreon.
Till next time.
See ya!